and you can assess people's opinion for that. So, looking at single case methods, what the idea is, you've got a single person and you're trying to decide whether this person is unusual or not. So you might have, for example, suppose you've got somebody who has got an unusual allergic response. You want to try and decide in what way he's unusual. You measure lots of features about him. How unusual can he be? You want a method of comparing that person with a whole range of different people. And the statistical methods are relatively straightforward in some instances. Ordinary t-test with group of size 1 will do it. But, I mean, if you actually want to ask some other questions, you find yourself running into more unusual distributions. There were non-statistical t-distributions cropped up in the analysis, and that's something which I hadn't experienced before at all, but that was interval estimates. So the point is that if you have a single case and you want to try and compare them with a group, there are methods available. I'll stop there. So I'll briefly mention that. So basically, to do the analysis, this web page you can just bring up onto your computer. You don't need to download it. You can just type in figures relating to your normative to a normal sample, and on the basis of that, they'll give you the answers suitable for publications. The top two things there are references. You want to actually go to find the software to actually do the analysis. If you Google me, you can get into the appropriate web page there. For the stuff on single cases, there's a whole list of papers and associated software which will let you do stuff. Well, thank you for listening.
It's good to see in an early morning plenary presentation some algebra and some distributions. To me, the difficult task, it's an exercise in higher gymnastics to move from this side to that side. I would say that health services research and public health research are very broad areas. The subjects range from whole healthcare systems to organizations, to individuals, to people, single person studies, large surveys. We bring in methods from different areas where we need to quantify issues like expert opinions, but at the same time we have elaborated models to analyze the occurrence of disease and explanations of how the circumstances that people live in affect their chances of being healthy. So we bring in research, we bring in methods, approaches, theories from all kinds of different fields. And I would say that we can expect from a good health services and public health researcher or professional that he or she is competent in all these approaches, knows when to apply different theories, when to apply different methods and statistics. But at the same time, we expect this researcher or professional to have an individual motivation, which is based on values. So we need the competences and skills to do the work. We need the motivation and values to do it in the right way, and probably to link to yesterday's first plenary, we also need the institutional incentives to get this motivation into action towards implementation of research. So what my neighbor here, Lukasz Balwicki, is going to do is to talk to us about these issues of the values behind our research. Lukasz is a teacher and researcher at the Department of Public Health and Social Medicine of the Medical University of Gdansk in Poland. His main interest is in population-based interventions, and I suppose you wrote this bio yourself. It says, deliver positive health changes for local communities. And I was wondering why the positive is in there. Well, it should be probably self-explanatory that we do only want positive health changes. You've been a tobacco control advocate for a long time, led a successful campaign to make the beaches in Gdansk smoke-free. You could probably export your methods to this country. I've seen people sitting on the beach this morning already at 8:30, having a cigarette and a telephone and sitting in their swimming suit on the beach. Lukasz, we're looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, Professor Gartwright, for a short introduction to the methods. And I think for me it's a perfect time to realize how much lack of knowledge I have. And I think that, I don't know how you, but probably I will need an extra statistic classes to fill the gap. Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me, and special thanks I want to express to Monika Kosińska from IFA, who decided to invite me, the unexperienced researcher, because I must confess, I hope I'm in the beginning of my career. It's my second time I'm here, so I'm really impressed. I'm honored to be here and to see so much researchers, so much scientists that publish lots of papers. I have read some of them in major journals, so it's a big honor to me. My name is Lukasz Balwicki. I come from Poland, from Gdańsk. I did medical studies, but just after 1 year of postgraduate internship in a local hospital, I discovered that I just want to be more than just a doctor. So I chose medical specialization in public health just to widen my interest. I started to carry research on smoking among pregnant women, passive smoking and active smoking. So most of you know that it's dangerous. But then, of course, I also started to teach my students. Yeah, that's the academic do, the teaching and doing research. And so maybe you can ask yourself, yeah, what kind of young researcher can add to this wide conference, to this gathering of the top minds of public research. I wanted to share with you my personal opinions on science and what should we do about it. What's my opinion, and probably I especially direct my speech to those who are also for the first time or for the second time and start their career in public health. My first point is that it's my personal photos, so maybe you can be a little bit surprised that such a young man can have such a big family. But what I wanted to express that to being a researcher is not something that is outside real world. Yeah, and that's why I ask, which comes first, researchers or human being? So being a family man, being a community man, I think we cannot separate those things. Yeah, if I'm responsible for my family, I'm responsible for my society. That makes me a responsible researcher. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the case that associated those two things. As normal Polish family, we live in Gdańsk, so it's quite often that we go to the beach side that is situated in Gdańsk, and believe me that during the summertime it is very crowded. The photos were taken in the autumn, so maybe that doesn't show the perspective, but believe me, it's very much crowded. So when I had a first kid and my wife was pregnant, we were many times heavily exposed to passive smoking, and even more, the problem was that the cigarette butts were just thrown around. Yeah, so as you can see, my older son picking up something. I hope it's not a cigarette butt that he will put in the mouth. So I started to think somebody has to do something about it. Yeah, and I especially thinking somebody that I'm looking at you. Yeah. But then I realized there was no somebody that in my city that could do something about it. So I'm that somebody. Yeah? I am that somebody who, even in the beginning of the career, have the power, have the science, can read the articles, can even have my own research showing something is not right. There should be, we should do something about it. So I make a case. Yeah, I gathered the statistics. I gathered the examples from different countries on the policy, smoke-free policy, even at the beach side, and I found many of them from the United States. I found them from Italy. So I made the case. I translated it to the political language, because unfortunately we have a law, yeah, that enables local government to implement local public health measures. So I convinced council, for some members of them, then I convinced the whole council to decide that we should do something about it, and it's worth it, yeah, and it's it's for public good. Yeah, and then media started to interest, local media, and they found that people supported it. It was not that I met only resistance, because I met resistance, yeah, but most of people, those who have kids, those who want to spend their free time, support it. So we managed to pass the law, and even national media started to tell about it. That is the first beach in Poland that is smoke-free. So that was a big kick for me, that even being in the beginning of my career, I can do something. I can change the world. Yeah, so that was a huge support for me to do it. And then my interest, of course, in tobacco started to grow. I started to interest in national legislation, where I started to cooperate with Bloomberg Initiative, WHO, and also with Polish Ministry of Health, although this last institution is not very familiar for those who are young. And of course, but it doesn't stop me from doing. And I found a big resistance. And I found that politicians quite easily accept the data on personal interventions. They quite easily want to implement any health service that they directed to the individuals. But when it comes to changing the default policy, when it comes to change this strategy, that the policy, we found resistance, yeah, and also there are lots of groups, and David Stuckler that mentioned that we have a big tobacco, big food, yeah, big soda, and they are present everywhere to stop us from doing anything. And so, in that field, should we step back? Should we go to our safe laboratories, to the safe academic duties? I'm here to say no. Yeah? It's our obligation. It's our obligation to do something about it. Yeah? Because public health research is a real important thing. It's a big thing. Public health research should be a catalyst for change. Because when we compare medical science and medical research, sometimes they concentrate on individuals. We can save, I don't know, hundreds, we can save thousands. But when we think about the consequence of public health research, we realize that we can save millions. So it's a great power that we have in our hands. And then here comes when having a kids is quite useful to understand the public health, because I found my son was playing many times with kind of a figure, and maybe with some, so you see it's a figure of Spider-Man, yeah? And I found that in the first movie that was published about Spider-Man, he just quoted a very impressive words that I found that we can use to understand public health. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah? So if our research has such a big power to save millions, it's at the core of this, it's a core of obligation, yeah, to make it implemented, to use this knowledge to change the world. So it's not the research that is for own sake, yeah, and because many times even when I attend many of the sessions, I see lots of data, and sometimes researchers just publish this data and think, oh, somebody will use it. No, there is no somebody. We should do something about it, and we should take this responsibility in our hands. And I think it's not only my opinion, because I found a very interesting article in Lancet just lately about that it's time for heroes. That it's time for those who take the responsibility and make use of this science. Yeah? But many may think, yes, the artificial is a comic word, it's a kid's word. But I'm not only talking about the heroes that once in a time do something big. Yeah? I think about the heroes of daily life. So those of you who take research every day, who make use of this research, who base this research on values and make it implemented. Yeah? So that's how I try to teach my students. Yeah? That they have the responsibility. They can change the things. Yeah? I engage them in many of the activities that I perform locally. That's this example of the picture that we took on the World No Tobacco Day, that they presented kind of the event. Some of them they were acting like a big tobacco, and they prevented people from stopping smoking cessation, saying that it's not good for our economy. But some of them wanted people to give up, and they showed that this kind of event was widely reported by the media. So we made a case for it, even if it's such a difficult to show tobacco tactics among public opinion. So to sum up, first I wanted to stress that scientists, researchers cannot be impartial, cannot be neutral observers. We are united. We are united in our life. Yeah? So we cannot separate our scientific obligations and obligations that we have in front of the public opinion. We are, with the huge power that we have in our hands, we are responsible to make use of this science, to make it implemented. And the last one is to prepare next generation of researchers, next generations to be responsible, to be public health advocates of the science. And just one story that